friends and listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Party XP. I'm your host, Lakan. Joined once again is my friend Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
So, how have you been?
I'm just cold. It's the winter in the Northeast.
Yeah.
I'm cold. I'm tired of cold. But other than that, I'm doing all right.
That's good.
How are you?
Same, I guess. I've been the space heater in my room has definitely been getting a lot of use. And then before I knock out, I always turn it off though, because I like wrapping myself up like a burrito and just sleeping like real wrapped up. You know what I mean? Like a night. I use a thick fleece blanket. You know what I mean? I'm over down comforters personally.
Mm-hmm.
But a big old thick fleece blanket and just wrapping yourself up in it is like the greatest sleep that I've gotten in like a long time, especially when the winter comes around.
Yeah, you're a cozy little cinnamon bun.
Exactly. Also, though, I can't sleep with clothes on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's super cold, and you just get super warm after just wrapping yourself up, five times in your blanket. Good stuff. That's how I sleep.
Oh, I get it. Trust me. It took a lot to get out of that bed today. But I do it for all of us. I do it for everyone involved here.
This week, I'm gonna hit you with something here that I think that you would really, really enjoy. I love this game. This game is probably my game of the year last year. Have you heard of the game Neon White?
I have. It's a super crazy, first person action game, and it seems pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I didn't hear anything about this game until it came out. So Neon White is a first-person puzzle platforming game with visual novel elements developed by Angel Matrix and published by Annapurna Interactive. It was released in June 16 of 2022 on PC and Switch. Weird. PC and Switch, yeah, right? Exactly. And then December 13 on PS4 and PS5, so relatively recent for the consoles. Yeah, so in June of last year, right? I heard two podcasts the same day talk about throw the name of this game out, and I was like, just the way they were talking about it, I was like, I've got to get my hands on it, right? So I played a lot of other games that are kind of similar to this in the movement aspect of it, and yeah, this game rules. I definitely no life this game for a little bit. Again, I think arguably probably my favorite gaming experience of 2022. So you take the role of a neon, which is basically just like a sinner taken from hell, named White, and you are tasked with killing demons that have made their way into heaven alongside with other neons. And your crew of neons consists of red, yellow, violet, and green. You fulfill missions broken down into multiple levels where you jump, run, slice, shoot your way through a track of demons to the end goal. And along that track, that the level basically, you get cards, which essentially act as different guns and can be discarded for movement abilities. Upon clearing each level, depending on the rank you achieve, you can unlock hidden gifts, which you can collect and offer to your crew for extra stuff, extra missions, dialogue options, stuff like that. Hints on shortcuts in the level, and even a ghost of a previous run of yours to race against, essentially. This game just incentivizes you to speed run. This game wants you to go fast, and it's really, really good at doing so. And you can also see your friend scores as well as the global scores. So personally, they added a lot of replay value. Me and my friend Tristan from upstate New York, he and I got into this game around the same time. Not knowing, I didn't know it actually, and I just saw his name and I'm like, oh shit, Tristan plays this game, awesome. And then I just look at the times on the you just switch from global to friend scores. And I just see he's beating me in a bunch of levels. I'm like, I will absolutely have none of this. So I started going back to my previous levels and rerunning them again.
I just realized this game is just Violent Doritos Crash Course.
Don't do this. Hey.
Joke's on you. I love Doritos Crash Course.
Oh, man. Holy. Yeah, I guess something's that right. Oh yeah, that's weird. I hate that take, but it makes a lot of sense. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I'm just listening to the way that you're breaking it down, and I'm like, wait a second, that's just Doritos Crash Course.
Oh god. I guess for anyone who hasn't played Doritos Crash Course, it was a game on the 360.
It was like an obstacle course game on the
Yeah, it's kind of
360.
like Wipeout on 360. Basically, that's basically what it was. You use your avatar essentially to run through like an obstacle course. Yeah, but this one has guns and anime waifus and demons to shoot with said guns. But yeah, this game's god damn it, Jeff. This game's great. I really enjoyed this game. The game itself is like decently length. But I definitely got a lot of replay value personally out of the competition side of this game. You will see my score on this, and I challenge you to just go ahead and try to knock off as many as you can on my end.
Right.
Anything
Gladly.
anything aside from comparing this game to fucking Doritos Crash Course? Anything you think about this game so far? Because again, you said you heard of the game, knew a little bit about it, and then my description apparently reminds you of a weird shovelware game from the fucking 360 era.
No, it looks really sweet, and I'm excited because I wanted to play this, and I'm happy we got it, and so it'll be our next game here. It's exciting.
Apparently, like with this game, the creator of the game, actually let me pull that up just to because I don't want to misspeak here. Designed by Ben Esposito. There we go. And basically, like around the time he had like started making the prototype of this game, Slay the Spire had come out. Like in 2018, and created like the wave of card-based games in the indie game space, right? The decision to use like cards instead of like regular weapons is like one of the real design goals he basically thought of in looking at the weapons, like not as cards, but like looking at them as like resources, which allows for greater movement. That is like a paraphrased quote from Esposito.
That makes sense.
Basically, like he started off as like a card-based arena shooter with a lot of randomness built in, and then he ended up basically finding out that instead of making the game really random and making the game way too difficult because of the random weapons, right? He decided to fix the cards that they would get, which led the game to be more about like speed running. It's a FPS puzzle platformer game with some visual novel stuff, and it should be a good time.
Definitely excited.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break here, and by the time you hear from us, it'll be about a week or two, and we'll see what Jeff thinks about Neon White.
See you then.
Okay, listeners, we are back. It has been 2 weeks. Jeff, what do you think, Neon White?
Man, I will tell you that this game definitely, shows all the cards literally and figuratively in the opening frame here. And Neon White rules. It's so fun.
I love this game,
it is super high octane. It's beautiful. The music's great. It's a game kind of like how I do with Doom, where usually when I play games, I have something else in the background, right? And I play the games on silent. But for this, there was never a doubt in my mind that I would play this game with the sound on and listen to the music and the sound effects. Even the sound design was great. Clicking in the menus and the sound effects, the way that the weapons sound and discarding the cards and everything, everything kind of flowed together really perfectly. It created this really cohesive game that dared to be different, and it succeeded really well. And I think this is the perfect game to give somebody who complains that everything's the same these days, right? There's literally nothing like this game. And I think that if you're a part of that mindset, or if you know someone who has that mindset that, oh, games aren't creative anymore, there's nothing new these days, give them Neon White. Let them try Neon White for a couple hours and see if they change their mind.
It's good to hear because, like, again, like this is one of those games that like I was kind of like following, right, or like following. Like I heard about it and I was like, I gotta get in on this when I saw it when it came out, and again took over my life for a bit because the fact what's nice is like it is kind of like Doom in that aspect where it's like a kind of like a really nice self-contained game, right? Like it's not super long, not crazy short, but it has a ton of replay value because of the fact that it's like a speed running type of game, right? But yeah, it is very, very different from like basically anything else that I've played. Now that there are a couple games that are kind of taking inspiration from this, which is cool, right? I love the idea of it. And I like the fact that they're taking ideas of like using cards to like affect your character, your player, and your movement and stuff like that. That's a really, really cool idea. there's a little bit of here for like everybody, right? If you like shooting stuff, it's here. You know, if you like moving fast, it's here for a lot of people who like to speed run stuff. There's a visual novel element to this game. I've seen some people, you know, say it's not the strongest bit of the game. I get that, but you know, there's enough here for you to be like, okay, there's a story here. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a little bit of story to follow along with, right?
Right, it's also like the third most important thing of the story behind like the platforming and the
Just the
gunplay.
raw
Like the
gameplay.
story is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. Which is good because again, it does. I think it does a good job of like highlighting that you just want to focus on the gameplay for the most part, right?
Mhm.
Don't remember if I mentioned that. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a couple weeks now since we started the first pitch. But I mentioned that I think I mentioned there were gifts, right? On like there's like gifts hidden around the map and stuff like that, and like you know there basically is like different ways to kind of get you to explore the map a little bit more. So you cleared the game, right?
I did, yes.
Did you? Which ending did you get? Do you know?
So I got the spoiler alert. I got the Book of Death ending
Okay,
because I didn't go back and get all the gifts.
okay, that's cool. So there's two endings here. There's a Book of Life, Book of Death ending, right?
We should probably tell everybody about the game.
Oh yeah, we should. Okay, so I mentioned it before. So again, let's touch again. Neon White is a first-person platformer, first-person shooter puzzle platformer, right? Each one of the what is it? Several missions, right? They call them missions with multiple levels within it, and you basically start in the same. You start in the beginning. You run along, essentially kind of like a course. Along the course, you kill specific monsters for specific weapon pickups, and also there are pickups around the map as well too, and you use those to move around, right? So like, what is it? The pistol gives you an extra jump. The what is it? The submachine gun gives you like a dive bomb to the ground, right? The
Right,
shotgun
a stomp. Then you have the shotgun, which is like a directed
like a directed fireball
dash.
type of dash type of
Mhm.
thing. There's the sniper rifle, which gives you like a horizontal long dash type of deal.
Yeah,
And I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, the what is it?
the Book of Life pages,
There's
but
also
we'll get to that.
there's also the was it the grenade
Oh,
launcher?
the rocket
The rocket
launcher.
launcher,
The
yeah,
rocket launcher.
which is cool because it's basically like a sticky rocket jump, which is
Yeah.
fun.
And
And
you can tether with its discardability.
yeah, there's a disc. That's the is that the right? Which one's that one? I forgot which
That's
rifle
the
it
rocket
is.
launcher.
Is it the rocket launcher?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So you can use it to tether
You
and you
can
throw
use
it
it to
away,
scale
or
things,
use
right?
the rockets to scale things multiple as long as you save your ammo.
Right, because there is no like self-afflicted damage. If you blow something up, you don't take damage from it.
Yeah, and you also have a weapon that is always in your inventory, which is your sword, which you can use mostly to just like do damage and to like deflect bullets back at enemies. So again, either you shoot with the gun that you have, like with the gun slash card you have, or discard it for movement abilities. And that's also how you get like the gifts that are strewn around the map. So like essentially, if you're doing like a run, right? Like the first time you do a run, you'll get like a score for it, and then depending on how fast your run was, you have to kill everything on the map to unlock the gate, to unlock the end gate. And then, depending on how fast you are, it gives you like a hint to where there's like a shortcut, or it shows you a gift on the map, which kind of like purposely slows you down so you can explore the map a little bit more. You know what I mean? And really
Hmm.
get like a full use out of all your movement abilities, which is I think it was a really cool idea. Definitely gave the game a lot of replay value for me. So yeah, you basically do a bunch of levels. You do like you want to try to get like a high score essentially on all of them. You get like like a bronze, silver, gold, a platinum, and then an ace, which is like a red symbol, like a red medal for the fastest score under a certain amount of time. You basically do a bunch of missions. There's a bunch of like visual novel ish elements, right? There's a whole story going on here. Basically, it's like you and your crew, right? You and your whole crew basically get wiped on a doing a heist type of gig, and
Hmm.
the story gets explored more and more of what happened and how things went wrong and the interactions between you and your team. Basically, you meet them one by one in heaven. You're Neon White. You meet Neon Red, who is your love interest. You meet Violet, who is kind of like big titty goth girlfriend, like right.
Right, right.
She's ooh kind of girl. Oh god, I should not have done that. Oh god, I hate myself.
It's all right. It's all right.
Uh, then you got Yellow, who's your bro, your dude bro.
Yeah, dude, bro, man, guy.
Yeah, he's great. I love I love Yellow. And
Yeah,
then you have Green, right? Am I missing anybody?
green.
I think that's it.
That's it.
And Green is basically like the ultra Chad, like the Giga Chad. You know what I mean? Like
he's the final boss.
He's the final boss, and like even before then, he's kind of like just the big, massive, brawlic motherfucker who's like, he's like the top dog, right? He kills the most demons, so he's top dog. And you find out he's your ex-boss / tutor, and he's the guy basically who's like lost all of his shit during the heist, and basically gets you and your crew killed. And that's that's essentially the short of the story, which again we mentioned before is like the third most important thing in this entire game.
Yes.
Essentially the shortened version of how this game plays, but then like again this game gets a little bit more intricate, especially the more and more you play into the speedrunning aspects of the game. How much did you try to beat like the scores you see on the scoreboard, or even if you have me on your scoreboard, did you try to beat all my scores?
No. No. My gist was basically to try to gold as many levels as I could.
Yeah, gold is like I'll take a gold. Like I was pretty happy with on my first run.
And within the game, you have like a ranking system, right? And in order to progress, you need to reach a certain rank. So I said, well, if I'm going to have to go back and do these anyway, I might as well get as many golds as I could. I mean, there were a few levels where I get like a silver, and I'm like, I'm good. Like I don't need to play that again. But I tried to get as many golds as I possibly could because I figured I don't want to be stuck going like backtracking. I'd rather just click retry while I'm here and get the golds while I'm in this level, and the level is still fresh in my mind here. I kind of figured that you had optimized this game and you had actually looked things up on how to get these like the platinum times or whatever those things are called.
So I would get golds and silvers for the most part of my early tries, and then when I started getting more silvers, I was like, and I realized you kind of have to do a certain amount of levels right to get through the next area. I was like, you know what, I basically don't leave until I get a gold.
Yeah,
and then actually, even earlier on in the game, the first couple levels, I was like, no, the first couple missions, I'm leaving at plat only. And then once the game started getting later and more intricate, and like the levels are more confusing, right, and the window becomes tighter to finish the level, I was like, I'll leave the gold because the plat is starting to get a little hard to get consistently on every single one, especially on like a sight read. You know what I mean? Like your first try, like you don't know the map at all. And the thing is, like, once I finished like the first set of missions, right? The first mission and all the levels in the first mission, I had decided how I'm gonna play the game was not like 100% it, but like, okay, I'm leaving with plats and all the gifts. Yeah, and I'm also gonna do all the gift giving so I can get the extra missions. That's kind of how I played it, and that's kind of like, again, I said before, this game took over my life, so I was just dropping time into this game and like really, really like breaking down what's the best way for me to run each of these individual levels. So yeah, that's how I played it.
Yeah, I think, and it also kind of presents itself as a game that's really easy to backtrack in, right? So you have like the central mission hub, and you can go back and redo the levels. And I don't know if this was internal or if this was something on the wiki, but it tells you some sort of resource related to this game tells you, okay, these are gifts, these are gift levels, these are and who the gift is for. So if you want to pursue, Neon Yellow's story, you can only play these missions. I think it's probably on the wiki, but you can only play you play these missions only and unlock all of Neon Yellow's gifts and progress his story all the way to the end. Or if you want to do it with Red or Violet or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think it might be all listed out because I think the boxes are different colors, but like it shows you what the gift. Like once you figure out what each individual gift is, it's not like you're giving multiple different gifts to each individual person. It's just one gift. That's it, right? Like what was yellow's like a beer, right? Like a case of beer,
probably. Yeah, if I had to guess,
yeah, do bro. So give him a 6-pack and you're good to go. But like Violet had like she's like the cutesy uwu character, so you got her something different, and you got, I think it was like roses for Red, right? There was also like the bartender, right? The bartender character you also
you have like these other ancillary characters,
yeah, which is funny because like little details, right? But like basically Neon, like basically because they're all like angels, right? It's the whole the characters see them as something they can comprehend, because if you saw their biblically accurate form, they couldn't comprehend it, right? That's kind of like the joke they kind of prodded the entire time, where White sees them all as like cats that look kind of like Garfield.
Yeah,
And
and then when you see the central cat Mikey in his true form, he's basically just like a floating eye with wings.
yeah, again, like the biblically accurate angel, right? Was it Yellow sees Mikey as like John Cena, which is
Yes.
like, I was like, this is amazing, this is great. There's a lot of other characters aside from just your crew you're giving gifts to as well. Probably the wiki probably lists out exactly whose gifts are on which levels, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But if because of the anal retentive way that I decided to play it, where I'm like, I'm not leaving until I get everyone's gift and get every level to gold or plat, right? I was like, if I'm not leaving until I get all those done, then I basically had everyone's gift every mission that I finished. So I was able to do the side missions from red, violet, and yellow alongside of playing the main game. That's how, at least that's how I played it. Again, you can play it however you want.
Mhm. But it's definitely a game that's easy enough, right? Like once you kind of finish it, even for me, like I can go back and clear through the gifts pretty easily, I think, at this point, and
Yeah,
see the action for myself, right? So like I took a look at some of the the memories and things that you unlock within the when you build out these storylines, right? When you build up your social links, for the lack of a better term.
yeah, that's basically it. Yeah,
Yeah. So, kind of you get the gist that, yeah, you guys had a certain relationship as a team in the living world, which sort of kind of translates into the underworld, or, into the afterlife, I guess I should say,
yeah,
and how you guys react to each other as neons. So the story was fine, I thought. It's your traditional typical story, right? We've talked about this a few times, and I think we'll continue to talk about it. The traditional trope of, oh, amnesiac protagonist tries to put his life back together.
yeah. We've definitely mentioned that before.
And so I look, for a game like this, I would rather have the game be fun to play and have a ton of substance in the game than remove some of the substance from the game and put it into a story, right?
Yeah,
Especially a story that's kind of cut and dry, like, you know, former mercenaries and crime aficionados come together for one last job and die, right?
yeah,
Trying to do it. And I don't think you need to rewrite anything there, especially when you're rewriting so much of gaming in the actual game itself, when you're combining all of these awesome elements into a really unique gaming experience, right?
yeah.
I think we can stay with the whole basic kind of heist
So
story.
yeah, it's like we mentioned it a little bit before in the first John Wick episode, right? Where it's like John Wick is a man on a mission to murder the people who, like, who stole his car, killed his dog, you know what I mean, and fucked him up in his house that
Who
him and
wronged him? Yeah.
exactly. Like, that's all I just need a bare bone story and I'm in. You know what I mean? That's kind
Hmm.
of like what Neon White is. Again, like the story's there, cool. That's all I need to kind of like remember what I'm doing, like, why I'm doing it, right? And then like the rest of the game is like, just hitting that like desire to just keep hitting the replay button or go to the next thing to make my time go down. Let me see. In terms of like how I played it, I think there was a little bit of me like looking stuff up, but for the most part, I tried doing everything by myself.
Same.
There were times when I would find like a specific gift. I'm like, how the hell do I get in there? You know what I mean? Like, especially when I see it like
Right.
in a glass, like in like a like especially like one of the levels has like a bunch of like scaffolding looking like construction like type of deal, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, I have no idea how to get there. What am I missing? And then you realize, oh, I can't use any of the rocket launchers that I had. Like, I need to use all of them to launch myself up this giant skyscraper, basically. And that's the thing too. This game, like, oh my god, like I mentioned before, right? So the game wants you to go fast, basically, right? That's why I love the gift so much, because it forces you to explore like
Yeah.
this really well crafted parkour playground, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you kind of like initially when you start playing the game, you're trying to like break the code, right? You're trying to plug yourself into the matrix and see how the game runs to make yourself go as fast as possible, get the fastest time. That's good. But then there's the other part of it, is like, which is like forcing you to actually like think of like, how do I save? Like, I need an extra jump here. Where can I go where I can like skip a like not have to use this jump to get up somewhere? Oh wait, I can use this rocket to get up there. I lose a little bit of time, but it's fine. I don't worry about my time. I'm just trying to get higher so I can save this extra card down the line. You know what I mean? Especially like on some of the missions where like Oh my god! You know the missions where like Violet is kind of like trying to trap you and shit, right? So Violet is like an
Yeah.
explosives kind of expert. That's her kind of her character. She's like the agent of chaos on your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Booby traps and tries to have booby because she's also a boo boo character. Um, but like she's like that's her thing. She's the explosives expert, right? And like she's good at like she was like a safe cracker, I think, right on your team as well. I think that's what it was.
Sure.
Yeah,
You could tell me. I mean, you
whatever.
could
Yeah.
tell me she was the character costume wearer, and I believe you.
um, but like some of her missions got like kind of complex, right? Because she like you realize you couldn't break certain things because if you did, like a laser would come out and hit you, crossing over to where you need to go, type of deal, right? You have to like start thinking like, what can I break and can't I break so that way I can keep myself safe while getting to the gift kind of type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yep. So her
And
levels were the first sets where I was like, "All right, you're keeping me from going fast." So okay, you know how you play Sonic and like the first levels are always great because it's all about going
just
fast.
hold right and jump occasionally. Yeah,
Right,
basically.
exactly. And then the game starts to slow down when they start making you platform and do jumps and figure out puzzles and crap like that, and the game kind of drifts downward, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt with the
Chasing
the
purple,
mine
chasing
missions, right?
chasing violet levels. Yeah, 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 I get you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, stop making me go slow. I want to go fast.
And then
Eventually, I think they kind of figured out how to keep you going fast with the mines, and I did appreciate that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
right, you
But
like
like the first instance of it, I'm like, come on, man.
yeah, it's like once you realize, okay, I have to slow down and think a little bit. Like I can't turn my brain off anymore because that's how I tend to play most games, right? Unfortunately, my unga bunga brain is taking over, and I can't keep my attention span like actually focused on like actually thinking anymore now. But like once you realize how to go fast and disable her traps or dodge her traps, and you start seeing that seeing that kind of like level breakdown start to happen, you start flying through those now too, right? It's like but like that's the first level of difficulty you start feeling. I feel like that's when I started really like thinking like, okay, this game's starting to get like harder to play. That's when I started to like having difficulty trying to get to some of my ace scores or ace medals on my times.
Right.
Did you try going back and beating any of my times or nah?
No, I didn't go back to try to beat times. I just kind of went back and
Give
played,
yourself like a
a few of the
PB or
levels
whatever.
over again. And
Get yourself like a PB kind of type of deal.
yeah, I wanted to at least get one of the ace medals, right? So I ended
Mhm.
up getting a few, some trying, some without trying, right? I just so happened to get, a really good time on a level. And so that's kind of the way that I approached it. I'll go back, maybe. I at the very least want to, you know, do get all the achievements. And I feel like that's one of these games, kind of like I did with Cooking Companions, where I like this game a lot and I know
Mm,
that it's well made and it's easy enough to go back and get all of these achievements. So maybe that's what I'll do, right? Is go and get these achievements. But as far as trying to be the very best neon white player on the planet, I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
I'm gonna date this episode a little bit, but there was a what's the games done quick AGD
AGDQ.
yeah it's AGDQ just happened, right? Or like relatively recently. Was that last week?
Yeah, that it just ended
Yeah,
a couple days ago
yeah, yeah,
from when we're recording
yeah.
this.
So there was a neon white games done quick, and it is a completely different game from what I'm playing. And I'm because like I'm not bad at this game. I figured out a couple of the fastest runs in this game, right? I can't particularly do them to get like the fast because I remember like figuring out one level. I forgot. I don't remember the exact numbers of levels, right? But there was one where I figured out, oh, I have to jump on this thing, jump off of it, aim down, slash it with my sword to count as a kill, right? And then I could save all three of my cards to like jump over this long chasm and still be able to shoot everything. And I'm like, this requires aim, timing, execution. This is hard. And I finally hit it. And I was like, let's fucking go. I did it. I figured it out. I got my that was like my fifth or sixth like red ace medal,
Hmm.
right? Like the fastest time you can get on it. I watched the video. I was like, this has got to be pretty not like the best because I'm still seeing times that are like shorter than mine on the leaderboard. I'm like, let's see somebody like who's like competent doing this, right? And then I just see them like fly through the map, and I'm like, I'm bad at this game. I'm just not good at this game apparently, because these motherfuckers see the goddamn code and figured out how to fly around this map. Oh man, but yeah, like it was a really cool watch. Like I think it was two people, I think it was, who was doing the Neon White speed run. But man, this game is so absurd to watch at like high level play. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like when you watch any game that's being done, like especially like a speed run game, right? Because obviously
for sure.
there's like an execution aspect to it, right? But yeah, this game was like wild to watch in speedrun form, and I was just like, okay. Now I want to go back and try to play this game again. I know I can't do any of the shit that they're doing, but I'm gonna try it. And like again, for me, like I had my friend Tristan who was playing at the same time, and I remember one time I would just be in Discord, and like in Discord you can see your friends, what are they playing at the moment, right?
Right.
He just saw that I was playing. He just saw that I was playing Neon White, and he was like, "How many?" He hopped into my Discord and was like, How many of my scores have you beaten so far?" Just like straight up just asked me. I was like, I beat like 7. Like I was like just going back trying to beat him in everything. And then we ended up going kind of just doing this like duel for duel, like he's like, I think I can beat your time here, like in like level 1, like level 1 6. I was like, I think I can beat your time here. So and then he does, and I'm like, fuck, I have to go back to level 1 6 and try to remember how the map goes and just basically race for it again. But yeah, it's cool. Like we eventually got to a point where we would play the same level. He'd figure it out, like how to do the fastest run on it, and like I'd be like in the levels, like standing on like the rooftop of like a building. It's like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? Like the timer's just ticking. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck this mission goes.
Right.
And then he'll just tell me. And I'm like, oh fucking hell! Like I completely missed this. I can't believe I can't believe it. Like you have to hit the shot here and then just hopefully go for it. It's a really good game, and I'm glad you actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of figured I would. Just from seeing it at like, I don't even remember the last time when I first saw it. I want to say it was at like E3 or the Game Awards or something. And you see this game, it's visually appealing, right? It's super cool. It's got a really great aesthetic. And, it's like, oh, I can't wait to play that. And then you actually play it and you see all these beautiful things in front of you. And you're right, you want to explore, but you also want to go fast, which is why I appreciated stuff like when you ascend to the Temple of Heaven, right? And you and Red are moving your way up. It's not really a timed event as much as it is just kind of a straight platform. And I did appreciate that because you're able to kind of, enjoy the level. And it's like, man, I wish there was just a free roam mode where I could run around and do a bunch of cool stuff and fly around and explore. But I guess, like you said, that's what the gifts are for, and it'll give you the opportunity to explore a little bit and go off the beaten path. But and the other cool thing is that the level ends when you collect the gift, right? So you don't have to worry about finishing the level after you get the gift.
Yeah, that actually was like a really like a godsend, because like, I thought like, oh, now I have to like try to finish this level with like no cards left in me, right? Like I was like, but no, it ends the level right there. Oh, perfect, it's awesome. But yeah, like I mean, I think I would highly recommend getting the gifts and doing the side missions. I'm a really really big fan of them. So like what is it? Red. Her gift was perfume, by the way. I was like, I don't know why I thought it was roses, but her things are perfume, right? And her missions, or like her side quests, like every character has like a different type of side quest they do, right? So Reds are I think they were like traversal, right? I think that was their whole thing, like because
I don't know.
Like I think it was like you had to use every specific card they give you. I think that's what it was, something like that. I think hers were kind of relatively straightforward. But I know Violet, like hers, her missions were a lot of like kind of not like puzzle solving, but like you had to like think a little bit outside of the box to do some of hers. Like some of them are like kind of like trap based. Like there was one where like if you go too fast and you keep slamming through the floor, you end up on like Idiot Island, I think she called it. And it's like, and I ended up on that one like 5 times in a row because I'm trying to go fast. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get through it, and like I have to count how many floors I've gone down. Like I think it was like 13 or 14 floors. I'm literally like hitting the ability like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I would like have to go across the room, do it one more time so I don't end up on the what's called the trap area. And then I think yellow was like you couldn't use any abilities. I think it was like I think
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, something along the lines of like it was like kind of like pure movement. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've done these missions, but it was like yeah, you couldn't discard any of the weapons. That's what it was. You can only use the gun. So like but again, like they're like you can still like he'll give you like the rocket launcher gun, right? The grenade launcher, or whatever, to like blow up doors and shit. So it's still like a way for you to get around and stuff. That's what I like those side missions, because again they force you to play the game a slightly different way than the way you've kind of been like intuited to just from playing the game regularly. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I do appreciate that because we want to explore this open world and we want to attack this open world with these great tools that we have at our disposal, but the base game doesn't give you that opportunity. So it's nice to be able to do things a little differently without so much stakes, right, involved, because you don't want to be the slow guy, you want to be the fast guy on the leaderboards.
Oh
So,
yeah, exactly. Did you play this on a controller or mouse and keyboard?
oh, mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, right. So fun fact actually with this game, I've seen a couple people do the speed runs. I've seen a lot, like the high level speed runs in the game
Hmm.
on controller. So the reason why it actually works out relatively well, so the aim assist in this game is relatively strong, and they do that for like if the think kind of like Destiny, where there's like magnetism, right? If
Right.
the if your crosshair is close enough, it'll curve the bullet towards the enemy to give you the kill. Especially like the balloon enemies, right? There's a lot of those like you have to shoot
Hmm.
them, but you don't technically have to go up the way you jump off of them, right? You can jump at the balloon enemy, it bounces you up, and you kind of climb like a ladder of them. There's like a very specific mission where like you like kind of jump over like a gap in the map, right? And you kind of shoot like 1, 2, 3, 4, like kind of alternating left and right, like and going upwards, and then kind of like use the jump to get back over the wall. And that's like the one of the skips. And it's like, oh, it's a cool skip, but it's like it requires you to like hit with a mouse. It was relatively easy to do with the mouse, right? Like to do
Hmm.
quickly, but obviously with the controller, it's like it's a little rough if you're not using a controller, and you're scared if you're gonna miss your shots. Again, the game's pretty generous with its aim assist in this game, so it's actually pretty very much so doable with the controller as well.
That's good to hear. I heard also the Switch version has gyroscope, which
Yeah,
I hate, but I'm sure for some people it's great.
so that's the thing, right? Like the Switch gyro aiming is like I love gyro aiming. I wish that like Steam didn't make it such a pain in the butt to turn it on like every controller that I have. Like I tried doing it for Destiny because the PS4 controller has a gyroscope in it, and I'm like, hey,
Right.
please let me use it, and then it became a pain in the ass, and it wouldn't let me do it properly. But like yeah, like people who got really good at gyro aiming, especially people who played like a lot of like Splatoon, people who played a lot of like Breath of the Wild, right? And even Apex, right? Apex Legends has gyro aiming on Switch, and
Mm.
it's really useful because obviously it helps you do precision, quick aiming, right? Especially because more movement and stuff like that allows for fine tuning. I'm sure that actually works pretty well because again, this game came out on Windows and Switch first, I believe. Yeah, it came out on June 16, 2022, simultaneously on the Windows and Switch. Then came out to PS4, PS5 in December of last year. So yeah, if anything, that probably helps that out a lot. Actually, I wonder if you could I wonder if I wonder if that turns on for PS4, PS5, because again, there is a gyroscope in there. So listen, if you like want to get into this game, don't be afraid to just play it on whatever console. If you want to play it on console, play it on mouse and keyboard, whatever you want.
Hmm. For
But
sure.
yeah, what did you think of the voice acting in this game?
Oh, it was great. I like Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, right. So,
I knew that was the voice that you were talking about. I was like,
oh
oh,
my
that's Spike
god,
Spiegel.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, it was what was it? It was freaking Spike Spiegel. Steve Bloom is the voice actor for Neon White,
For
your
White, yeah.
main character. The other characters I had to look up afterwards myself because I couldn't recognize them because to be fair, Steve Bloom's voice is very recognizable, right?
Correct.
If you play Valorant, if you watched Cowboy Bebop, he's in everything. He's got an awesome voice. What was it? So Allison Packard is the voice of Red. Courtney Lynn is the voice of Violet. Yellow was Ian Jones Cordy. That's what his name was.
I was gonna say some guy they found at the bar.
No, Ian Jones Cordy is the guy from OKKO. Also worked with for Steven Universe. So like he's a different particular style in his voice and stuff like that. His art style. But it's cool. It was cool to see. I was like, I feel like I've heard this name before. I looked him up. I was like, oh shoot, it is that guy. Okay, so I definitely know who he is.
Oh, I do know this guy.
Yeah, right. He's worked on a lot of stuff. He's a big name in like Cartoon Network in general, right? Or cartoons in general. There's a good amount of voice acting. There's a lot of like annoying like like a reaction sounds type of deal when you're going through like the main like the side story bits, right?
Right.
But for the main story, if you're in for the story, if you want at least a little bit of something, it's there. The voice acting is there for it. It's like it's relatively fine, right? The script isn't anything crazy, but it's just
It's a means to an end. It
yeah,
really, it's like it's a means to an end.
which
It's
is
nothing revolutionary.
which is wild because they have like top tier voice talent doing this
Correct.
like kind of cringy anime voiceover line.
Right.
Man, Mikey is the best voice act carrier in this entire game. Though, just they just made him like a wisecracking, typical New Jersey New Yorker kind of voice guy.
Yeah.
That's voiced by Sungwon Cho, Pro ZD.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
Love Pro ZD. I like as soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, I have like 5 people on my short list who I think this could be because it's a pretty stereotypical accent, right? And I was like, okay,
Right.
like let's see. Then I looked it up, Sungwon. I was like, oh shit, let's go. But yeah, it's cool. And there's some like this. There are some like funny interactions with the with the characters, right? Like Red and Violet, like tease Neon, White, right?
Right.
Again, Yellow's the dude, bro. How did you feel about story wise about Yellow?
Damn, like you're like, hey, this is your dude, bro, man, guy, friend, and then like what felt like 10 minutes in, he's already dead.
Bro, they did him dirty so early in the game.
I'm
Like
like, damn.
he's like the one character like I felt like especially because like, the whole point of the game is like the whole point of the story early on is like Neon like White doesn't know who he can or can't trust, right?
Right.
And Yellow's the only guy who's genuinely like nice to you on a regular basis. So it's like,
Right.
okay, guy, I can trust Yellow. Yellow's my guy. And there's a little bit of like, hey, don't trust Yellow from like the under like the murmurings of don't trust Yellow. It's like, why not? No, he's genuinely just like your best friend dude, bro. And they did him dirty like I don't know, maybe like two or three missions in. I feel like
Yeah.
you barely
Yeah,
got,
they did.
but again, like as I mentioned before, if you do all the side missions, you get to see a little bit more breakdown with him, which is again I appreciate it because that's what like if of any of the interactions with anybody else other than White being down bad for Red and getting flustered
Right.
at Violet, right? It's like those are fine, whatever, right? But like I was like, oh, Yellow's chill. I like Yellow. It's funny because did you watch any streams or any gameplay of this game or not?
So the only thing that I watched were the side missions once I finished the game because I didn't want to spoil anything. But now I think
Okay.
I want to go watch other people play this game because, again, like you said, I want to see people play a completely different game than what I was playing.
Yeah, that's so like aside from like the skill aspect or lack of skill in my terms, in like
Yeah, for sure.
there's well, one, there's a lot of people who are super thirsty for Red.
Uh huh.
To be fair, she does have like mommy energy, right?
Uh huh.
And then Violet has like the again like e-girl uwu like type of
Uh huh.
energies, which is people like that, I guess. But like yeah, like
It's me. I'm people, by the way. Anyway,
God.
please continue.
But yeah, like again, like there's a lot of like initial like because I watched a couple like after I beat the game, I watched a couple people who like streamed it, like a couple clips from their streams and stuff like that. I was like, see what they do and see what they like about it, right? I would definitely see like a lot of them say like they would get kind of drawn into it. You kind of see their like eyes like focus in real hard when they started getting really into a level, right? They started
Oh yeah.
and yeah, it's cool because like especially if you watch like a lot of like content creators who don't really play this type of game, but they like fall into it. They're like, oh, they hear about it and they start trying like, oh, I didn't even realize I've been streaming for 4 hours. Shit. Well, it's been a good stream, guys. And like, they don't realize how hard they got pulled into the game.
Yeah, this is good at that. This game is really good at sucking you in for a very long time, especially because for me, like I played it on PC and I played it on full screen, so I don't see my clock to know. Oh, just one more mission, one more chapter, right?
Yeah.
One more chapter,
And again,
then
that's the thing because
before you know
the
it,
game's a speed run game. You just assume like, oh, that was like 10 seconds. I've got plenty of time, right? And then you don't realize, like, again, like 5 hours in, you're like, oh shit, I've lost my day.
And then you realize, 45 seconds plus 45 seconds plus 55 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes per
How many times
world.
have you canceled a run in the middle of it because you screwed something up? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like this game does a really, really good job of just like dragging me in, and it's fun. That's why I liked it so much, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it so far. Yeah, I hope you go back for some of it at least, or if again, it's fine if you just want to go watch through some of the side stories. Because like the biggest thing for me for the side missions, as I mentioned before, is like the other neons is like again, stories there if you want it, but for everybody else, it's just more game, which is
Right.
what I want. But yeah, I would say like if you're looking to get back more into this game, and like you get a little bit of extra time to throw away. Try getting some of the hard like the red medal,
Right.
the proper ace medals. They're just like the moment that I got my first one, I was like, oh shit, there's something higher than platinum. Okay, now I want all of them.
Right.
And I'm pretty close to getting all of them to plat. It's like some obviously some missions are harder than others to do, and require not like luck, but like the boss fights are technically timed as well too, which throws me off. And like if I miss like a cycle, I'm like, oh well, there's this run gone, and so like I have to start that mission over essentially from the beginning again, which is not ideal. But again, if I'm in the mood to play this game, I will just dump a little bit of time into this game. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Is White the only playable character?
Yes, he's the only
Okay.
playable character.
I don't know. For some reason, I felt like you could play as somebody else. This could just be like an L is real kind of thing where
Mm.
I don't know. They kind of like tease it. I don't know if I thought like you would play as green or red. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I just kind of felt like that's how things were getting, like how you were clearing the level so quickly, and how everybody was playing this game. It's like, oh, there's got to be somebody other than White because he's got this floaty jump and he's got this little katana.
Yeah,
You know,
he's the weeb of the group basically.
right? No, but I'm like, so like I don't know. I just felt like there was somebody that could do this stuff faster,
Yeah, I
which
mean,
is why
so,
like you could pick somebody else to clear these levels faster. So
so it's kind of like it's in terms of like the game or the characters, like the character building and storytelling, right? Like Red is very capable, right? There's a reason
yes,
why he like kind of fawns over Red because she's a super strong, capable woman who can kill him. Huh? So I guess Steve Bloom has a thing for women who can kick his ass. I guess then, right?
I guess so.
But like yeah, and then like Violet seems to be like a kind of like a agent of chaos, right? Who just like I'll kill demons. It's not gonna be clean, but I'll do it, right? And then Yellow with just seems like he was kind of like the lucky, like the seemingly like goofy but capable guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Green's just like a monster, just a fucking brick shithouse of an angel human guy. And I think that would be a cool idea.
Very eloquent.
Yeah, I think I think it'd be a cool idea if you did play it like instead of having to like use the other weapons, right? Imagine if like you could still do, or maybe if you still had your weapons, right? Like, but like with Red, she has like her special sniper rifle. Maybe she has that instead of like having a sword, right?
Right.
She always has like an extra dash essentially just in her main weapon, or like as Yellow, I don't know, maybe say he just jumps higher than everybody else does. That'd be kind of cool. Or Green, since I don't think you ever see what kind of he doesn't really fight with a gun per se, right? He fights with like the
He
weird
throws the crystals and
the
stuff at
crystals,
you, and
yes.
laser beams.
Yeah, but again, since he's also built like a brick shithouse, and he's also taught you how to fight hand to hand in the lore, right? In the pre neon story. What if like he was like a grappler character who can just like dash to enemies and just rip them open?
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be like a cool thing, right?
Speaking of which, I do want to talk about one of my favorite gaming tropes that took place in Neon White.
Hmm?
So the last world, you get access to the Book of Life pages, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point of your character arc is to unite the Book of Life and the Book of Death. And what the
Yes.
Book of Life pages allow you to do is, contrary to the cards that you have in the game, the Book of Life pages don't drop. So you have once you pick up the Book of Life, you have it until you clear the level, and it's just this absolute powerhouse weapon that you just charge towards something. I'm pretty sure you're fully invincible, and you kill it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so basically, the whole last world of this game is just you flying through with the Book of Life pages, just
Just
absolutely
barreling.
destroying things,
Yeah.
right? And that is one of my favorite game tropes. Is basically the reward of the game. You've struggled to the end of the game. You've gotten every unlockable, every power up, and now you are just this like immortal killing machine by the end of
Yeah.
the game.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. That is a really, really, that is a really fun trope that I don't. I feel like I don't get to enjoy that as much as I used to.
Mhm.
Like I feel like I don't see it as much now. I feel
Yeah.
like.
The game I always remember that in is BioShock 2, where once like you're at the end of the game and like the final encounter is just a whole room of big daddies and all these
Oh
enemies,
yeah.
and you
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
basically with the drill and whatever else you have available to you, you just obliterate these things through like with ease. And Neon White kind of and Doom does it too a little bit, like once you reach the end and you have your full arsenal of weapons and you're just able to blow through everything. Neon White kind of made me feel like that, and I was like, "Yo, I love this. This is so much fun."
Yeah, that's a good payoff moment. I really really do like that too. Actually, my since you threw out your examples, my favorite kind of like that, like like barreling, like kind of unstoppable force of destruction type of thing, right? Titanfall 2. You know the moment
Okay,
you remember in the story when BT drops the survival kit. You get the auto
absolutely not. But
you get
go on.
you get the auto aim pistol, and you basically like you have to make an escape through like a through, I think it was like a gunship, and like you're instead of your character is like you start from like a basically like a regular infantry soldier to become like a pilot, right? And during that section, like everyone's trying to call you, trying to figure out where the hell you are. But the thing is, you just lost BT, like your buddy, right?
Right.
And you have an auto aim pistol. You don't aim anymore. Your character's not talking. You're just running on walls, auto aiming onto enemies and shit. You know what I mean? You are just like literally just murdering everything on your way out. The
Hmm.
same kind of feeling. It's like, again, I have the most overpowered thing in the game right now, and I'm gonna use it on everybody in my way. And it's the same kind of like power, like the power fantasy feeling. Like that's kind of like my personal favorite of that experience.
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah. What do you think of the did, like so the aesthetic to this? I've actually heard one of the comments about this mentioned they mentioned Killer 7 or references to like other anime kind of like games like this to Killer. Even actually I think I saw one article even said like references like Killer is Dead and kind of like the like abominations you're trying to kill in the maps, right?
Well, I mean, anytime it's a sharp dressed guy with a sword killing demons, I mean, it always kind of takes you back to those Suda 51 games, right?
Yeah, but this one's good.
Yeah, this one's really good.
Yeah, this was really good. But yeah, like the aesthetic of this game is like it's super dope, right? Like, because like it's funny because I think I remember saying like it's like I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, like it's super bright, super clear speedrun game. I'm in, right? And then you kind of like explore more and more in the game again, kind of just like your perspective changes a little bit more, and you kind of get to see like genuinely how beautiful this game is, really really well designed. But yeah, like I really really like the fact that it kind of reminded me a little bit of like kind of the older Suda 51 games, because it does have a very specific aesthetic to it.
I didn't even think of that, honestly. I like now that you mention it, sure, but I just kind of feel like that's a whole genre is sharp dressed guy with sword.
That's fair. That's fair, I guess. I'm glad that you play this, and again, I'm hoping more
Me
people are
too.
finding this game. And I told our friends to come and try this game, and I think they would really really enjoy it. I mean, I don't
No,
know.
they're not.
Yeah,
No, they won't. They will
really.
not enjoy this game
Ah, that's
because
all.
it's not just brainless unga bunga Doom Q Call of Duty.
Yeah. Man, I wish our friends would get explore out a little bit more. I mean, we've had a couple of our friends like listen to some of my recommendations, but like yeah, I want them to like this type of game, but I don't think this type of game, unfortunately, though.
If it was more of the visual novel,
Maybe yeah, if the story was a little bit tighter, it'd be nice, I guess. But man,
maybe.
again, the gameplay's so tight. That's what I want to tell everybody else who like tries the game out. The gameplay is tight. That's what makes the game really really run like well. Kind of covered everything in terms of like what my notes are, what I wanted to talk about this game. Anything else you want to bring up?
No, that was the only thing that I definitely wanted to talk about was the Book of Life pages because I thought that was such a cool payoff at the end, and I think more games should do that. especially growing up when you played like, just because I'm going back and I'm playing Donkey Kong Country for the 8 zillionth time again. The levels get harder as you progress, but you don't get anything new. There's a charm to that, but I also really do appreciate the payoff and the reward for putting in the time and developing your character and leveling them up. And you mostly find this in like action games and action RPGs and the like. But that reward of you get to the end, you're at the cusp of the final fight. You have you have this super powerful character that you've been working on since you first turned the game on. You have this entire army of enemies in front of you, and you just destroy them. It just feels great, and it's such an awesome payoff. So I'm happy that this gave me that feeling again and reminded me of the other times that I felt like that. So that was all I had.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, again, yeah, that emotional payoff there is very, very nice, especially towards the end of the game, especially once you started, like all the pieces kind of fall into place. But yeah, it's cool. It's great. Listener, again, the name of the game, Neon White. Please, please go out and try this game. I heard a couple podcasts talking about it. They all love this game. Unfortunately, I don't think I didn't even hear about it in any like a lot of like. Well, I mean, it's weird, right? A lot of the big game end of the year like discussions, right? Like the game awards and all that. They're not really going to talk about stuff like this, right? But
Well, that's because Elden Ring came out. Like basically,
to be fair, Elden Ring is also fantastic. So, but like, a lot of people will only think of like the big old triple A titles type of thing.
right. I mean,
right?
it was nominated for a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just it ran into a really stacked year of video games. I mean, think about it. We just came out of the pandemic. Now you have people that are like more used, I think, to working remotely, or maybe they're even working in the offices. So you're getting more of these games that are coming out, and I mean, it happens. It's a stacked field, but at least it showed up, and I think it deserved to be nominated, right? It deserved to be amongst the God of War Ragnaroks, the Elden Rings, the Horizon Forbidden Wests, right?
Yeah.
I think it definitely deserves to be there. And I think if anybody plays this game, they'll feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, listener, go ahead and check out Neon White. It's available on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5. No love for the Xbox thing here, huh?
Yeah, like there could be 100 different reasons why, but
yeah.
I think basically at this point, if you have a PC, you have an Xbox. So
yeah, I think that's kind of what the deal is nowadays, right? Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, so go ahead and listener, please go ahead and try this out. I guess that'll be it for our episode on Neon White. Thank you again for tuning in for this episode. You leave us a review, leave us a like, 5 stars, whatever audio platform we are listening on. Give us a share. Let other people know what we do here, and we really appreciate if you guys continue to follow up with our episodes following up.
And we take recommendations too. I don't think we've ever taken like a listener recommendation. So
I think we're trying to like initially it was kind of like us, you and me, right? That's kind of like you're trying to get me to stuff, I'm trying to get you to stuff that I get into. But we're absolutely taking announcing, I guess, like now for sure, we are taking recommendations. So if you ever want to reach out to us on Twitter or if send us something. If there's something that you really, really enjoy, maybe we'll look into it. We'll do an episode on it.
I didn't mean to force you into that. I just figured if somebody had something they wanted to show us, or if you're an indie game developer and you want to shill your product to us,
absolutely,
nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
We will gladly
I'm shameless. I'll take your stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, please reach out to us if there's anything you guys are really, really into. Maybe want to see us try it out and see our opinion on it. Yeah, let us know. Again, we have a Twitter, we have an email, Instagram. We're trying to get better at the other social medias as well too. But yeah, we're gonna keep trying our best, and thanks again for tuning in.
See you later.
When I play RPGs or open, like kind of like this type of game, like if I treat it like an MMORPG type of deal, I will do every fucking side quest. I can't help myself.
There are a ton of side quests.
So fucking many.